So we're out here at Dolly Parton's Lumberjack Adventure dinner and show. Next show is going to be at 5 o'clock. We are so excited. We're going to come out here. We're going to experience everything. We're going to tell you if it's going to be an awesome place for you to vacation, a destination spot for your foster or adoptive family, or just maybe even your family. So we're going to go in. We're going to get our tickets. We just stopped here, and it's the parking lot is pretty empty. We got here. It's about an hour, 45 minutes before the pre-show starts at 4, and then the actual show is going to start at 5. So we're going to go in, get our tickets, and see what all is available and what's going on.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, buddy.
Hey. How's the camera doing today?
Okay, I guess. So as we're heading in, Cody and I were just noticing you can see the Ferris wheel from the island that's here in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. And it's a place with a bunch of shops. They've got a fountain water show. There's all sorts of fun things to do over there. So maybe while you're waiting for your show to begin, like, oh wow, I'm getting splashed on by this huge water wheel here. You could actually go over to the island, have lunch, and then like go around in the shops there and then do your dinner here over here. Like there's a lot of things at the island for you to do with your family and your kiddos, and you can make it as an expensive an outing or cheap as an outing as you want to. So Dalton and I just came in, and we actually got in a little bit earlier because he had to use the restroom, but this place looks really cool. The whole staff,
popcorn.
Yeah, I do too, and it smells great. They actually have, as you come in, they're gonna do a photo souvenir on the green screen over there, so you're gonna get a photograph, and then you get a chance to get a souvenir when you go home. They also, it looks like, has a gift store, which we'll go over there and we'll look around at it. And they also have a concession stand back here, which we'll have to take a look at, and some great places for you to sit back here. So Dalton and I are pretty excited about going in here. We have some friends that are going to be coming and visiting us here pretty soon, so it should be a lot of fun. Right, and we stopped here with, is it Lauren?
Lauren, yeah.
And she's got her face painted. I don't know if you can see it. So there's face painting here for kids. There's a pre-show. Tell us about the concession stand.
All right, so at the concession stand we have Southern stuff, obviously. We got pulled pork and pork rinds, but also to please everyone, we've got nachos and popcorn. As far as our drinks go, our manager, the guy that opened up this place, made all the drinks himself and named them himself. So we've got a couple frozen ones. We've got a Mountain Breeze and a Southern Sunset. Both of those are just fruity slushies. Kids love them. Also, we have a lot of mixed drinks that are named Revenue's Delight, Spring Water, and a Geyser.
So, and then everything comes in a souvenir drink?
They all come in souvenir cups.
And it actually sounded pretty comparable for a dinner show. What is it? I saw boot mugs. Is that what they are, or what are they like?
They are boot mugs at Dixie Stampede because they're actually in a boot. But here they are stump mugs. They are tree stumps.
Oh, neat! Because we're at Lumberjack
show, so yeah, you
there
can stump.
That is so cool. What's your favorite drink to get here that's non-alcoholic?
Hands down, it is going to be, hang on, let me pick. Probably the Revenue's Delight. It's just so light and refreshing. It's Sierra Mist and cherry juice, and I load mine down with cherries because I love dessert cherries.
That is so cool.
That's my favorite one.
Lauren, thank you so much. Is there anything else people need to know about coming here beforehand?
That you're gonna get a good dinner.
Fantastic.
Gotta get a good food.
We are ready to do it.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thought it was cool for kids is they've got these puppets with like a trash can, and then the raccoon comes out of the trash can and he can go back in. Cool. And then, of course, for transfiguring adoption, they've got owls that come out of the stump. And here, Matthew, if you move your hand, they have, whoops, it says Dollywood's Lumberjack Adventure on it, so it's a great souvenir. They've got a bear that comes out of the stump, a black bear, so that's great for Tennessee also. but they look really, really, really cool. So, and it'd be something fun for your kiddo to take home and play with. So, of course, being a coffee drinker, I love coffee mugs. And this looks pretty cool. I like that. It's a nice size. It fits good. $13 for that. And this one kind of has a better hand grip. Dollywood's Lumberjack Adventure. This one's only $7. That's a really good price for a souvenir. And of course we've got the glasses. $7 for those too, so not a bad price. Really good. I would definitely get one of these for a souvenir. And I didn't see these before, but they look like tin mugs. They're ceramic. Again, really cool looking. $8 for these. Some really cool shirts. Hats look really cool. And $19 for a hat. It's a really cool shirt for a kid. It says Pigeon Forge, Tennessee on it. Lumberjack Adventure, and it's $15. So that's really cool. So we're having a lot of fun listening to the pre-show. We're hanging out with some friends here. We will say that if you're planning on meeting up with people here, you need to reserve your tickets all together, because we reserved a bunch of us got our tickets separately online, and then when we got here they're like, well, we can't sit you together because I guess they had the seating thing or chart or something. They couldn't seat us all together, so all of our friends that we came with were all sitting separately throughout the theater. But we did get some drinks. It was $7 for this drink, and it was really good. We had the frosty apple pie, and that was good. It was $7. They have a $10 size. They all come in souvenir mugs. And actually, Cody, let me see this. The kids got sodas that come in this mug that looks like a tree stump, and it's really cool. I don't know how much those were.
I think they were about $4.
Were they $4? Wow, that was good. That's a good price for a souvenir mug. Bravo, Lumberjack Adventure. But I think we're about 15 minutes from them letting us into the theater, and then we have another 20 minutes before the show actually starts. But it's been nice. There's lots to do around here. There's the face painting where it can actually, for the little boys, they make a beard, and then they can get a hat, like a beanie hat, so they look like a lumberjack, lumberjack. Okay. And then it's also, they got frilly stuff for the girls. We couldn't find any parents that would allow us to take pictures of their kids getting it done. So I couldn't show you guys what it looks like. But the folks back here that are doing the pre-show are really cool. And the only thing that's been a little awkward is they have these cues set up in front of it. And you can't, if you can tell, we have our backs to them. And our friends on the other side are facing the pre-show, but half of us are facing the back wall. So that seemed a little weird, but it's nice and cool and it's comfortable in here, and we're having a lot of fun. Gift shop is cool. Amber is going to tell us a little bit. There's a camp area, and they get to do face painting and stuff like that with kids. Can you tell me about it?
We actually do face painting. We actually do the little boys into little lumberjacks for the show, because that's what.
So what does that entail?
We paint the little beards on, full-on beards down to the bushy eyebrows and the mustaches. They get a beanie and an axe, just like the axes we have in here for the lumberjacks. So they feel like they're a little lumberjack. And then we have mountain princesses too.
And what's a mountain princess?
Mountain princess is kind of like our little lumberjills too we have, but we make them a little bit fancier.
And I saw they actually had wands and everything, like
yes,
the little floral crowns.
Yes, we have they get a headband, of course it has little flowers, they get a necklace, a bracelet, a wand, of course because they have to.
That's awesome.
Princesses.
That's so much fun. You got to check it out. Thank you so much, Amber. Some of the floral crowns and the necklaces that they have, and she was talking about the axes that they have, and it actually says Lumberjack Adventure on it. So the beanies are up here. It looks a lot of fun, and it looks like it'd make a great souvenir and just get your kids into the whole thing and having a lot of fun while you're here. So I would definitely check it out if you have younger kids when you come here. We're getting ready to go in. Look, the doors are open. Jeremiah and I are gonna go in. We're excited. We're not sitting together, but we're excited.
Adult needs to. You can come sit in my lap too if he needs to.
He can come sit in your lap.
Yeah, he can
People should always come to a dinner show with friends where they're willing to take your youngest. Very cool, we're in now. We are sitting in F5. We got separated from our friends, but this looks very cool. The stage is back here and we're getting ready to start. Really excited. You can see we're all around the stage and we're sitting in a row, and it looks like everything's gonna be in hand. No, I take it back. It's not like Dixie Stampede. We have silverware, so we'll actually have silverware and be able to eat that way. Looks pretty cool, huh? There is an owl, look at that. It is moving? And we are privileged tonight to have Katie as a server. So we're gonna see how Katie does. I'm sure she's gonna do great. Real quick, Jasmine, what are you thinking so far about everything? What are you seeing? Are you excited?
We're really close to the stage.
So really close to the stage. What do you think about the stage?
Well, it's really well set up and everything. I don't know what they're gonna do with that big hole in the middle. I'm kind of scared of that. And I've heard that they have live animals.
Live animals. So what kind of food do you think we're gonna get?
I think it's gonna be a big old pizza, like a lumberjack pizza.
Corn.
Not pizza.
Corn?
You might get some. All right, so tell them what you guys just found out from Katie, our server.
Alright, so we just found out that if these are napkins, we open them up.
How you folks all doing? My name is Angus. Everybody say, hey, Angus. Hey, Angus. Now, you might say I'm a bit of a yarn spinner, and tonight I've got a humdinger. But right now, I reckon, I'm gonna tell y'all a story about this old burnt down sawmill sitting all cattywampus in front of you. Oh, it may look like a rickety old ramshackle now, but sometimes, once in a blue moon, things have a way of seeming just the way they were. Scottish Highlands, which explains why they all like to settle up on the tippity top of this old mountain. They're the descendants of a great warrior tribe. They're tough as nails, and they're twice as sharp. Ain't that right, all you McGregors? Now, from this center point here, all the way down to this end, you folks are going to be joining the logging camp of the family known as the Wheelers. Say, hey, Wheelers! Hey, Wheelers! Now, the Wheelers people come from England, and they were valley folk. So as you can figure, they settled down in the holler betwixt this mountain peak and the next one over. These people had a powerful devotion to liberty, justice, and freedom. Ain't that right, all you Wheelers? Oh, and they took to fighting over which family was best suited to run that old mill. Hey, 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 hey! So a great lumberjack competition was held to prove once and for all which family was best. And the winner would receive that mill for themselves. This competition was legendary. And it all started off with springboard tree top. A lumberjack from each family would jump up on those springboards and commence to saw on the top of that log clean off. And the winner would receive a hatchet to be placed in another log so we could keep track and see who was ahead. These logs! They are neck and neck! could it be? I was just telling stories about the old sawmill and the two lumberjack families who chopped down the trees.
This warning, trust in me. You must see the whole forest through every tree. Nature's balance is fragile, it's true. One must stand where there once were trees.
Well now, that's about as clear as mud. But you have my word on it, your bootness. I will take it under advisement.
But for now, let us dance. For now, let us sing. For now, let the blue moon reach everything.
Next event, we are bringing down a couple of
Three
youngsters.
axes and they go on one axe. Which means we have 3 points, they have 1 point.
We're
gonna win.
That are gonna help them out.
They just brought the water out. What do you think's gonna happen?
Maybe I should say
There's water going on here.
They might have to like get in the water and float logs down. I've seen people do that before.
Get set and roll! Ready to fight for this one? Let's go! Alright, we're gonna reset that target. It's gonna be 6 foot 4 inches for the banana dog! Let's take it all the way to the top. We're gonna go 7 feet high with the wheel dog! 7 feet high, folks.
We just got done with the Lumberjack Adventure show, and these guys did amazing. They were just so awesome. They're in preview mode right now, right? So the real deal's getting ready to start at the end of the month, or is it beginning of next month?
Yeah, towards the end of the month, yeah.
They are ready for it. They're owning it. What do you guys like doing the best on this?
Everything.
Oh yeah.
It's jumping off of things, onto things.
Oh, here we go. We're leaving Lumberjack Adventure. Dolly says goodbye.
So sad.
Okay, Margie. Now that you've had time to think for a little bit, on a scale of 1 to 5 hoots for foster adoptive families, what? Well, okay. First, not even foster adoptive families. Here, let's see if we can get some fun stuff going on in the background. Yeah, it looks lumberjacky. On a scale of 1 to 5 hoots, just for general, what would you give it?
5 hoots.
5 hoots, just in general. For anyone, any family, 5 hoots. What would you give it for foster and adoptive families?
Let's see. That's a hard one because it all depends on your kiddos. Sensory kids, yeah, this is going to be really overwhelming.
But let me break in on that. The kiddo that we had with the worst sensory processing stuff, there's so much going on that it overwhelmed him to the point that like he shut down, and so it was kind of nice.
Shut down, like
he didn't fall asleep, but like he didn't.
He was enthralled. He was watching.
This doggy bag
is
most of his dinner. Like I think he had the dessert and he had some coleslaw and he had a roll.
Pretty much that you fed to him.
Yeah, and I had to feed some of it to him. So he did have some issues, but I guess if they have kids that like are gonna scream or go nuts,
yeah,
that's definitely an issue, and I would definitely mark it down for that. But there's
I would
nothing.
say,
I mean,
like especially for big families like ours, it's cost ineffective. I would say that, like normally we wouldn't be able to do this, but Grandma paid and it was half price.
But I will say, and we've always said, that this is like the most bang for your buck, because you're probably going to spend like $40, $50 just on a show here in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. Plus you're getting dinner here. And okay, food. How was the food for you?
It was good.
The food was really good. We had like what, chicken?
We had chicken, we had
pulled pork,
coleslaw, pulled pork,
corn on the cob, baked potato. I think
normally they have mashed taters and gravy.
Right, but they had baked potato tonight.
Like big apple turnover type
Oh
thing.
yeah, the apple turnover was
Flaky,
good.
soft. It was so good.
I had water and a coffee. And what did you have?
I had sweet tea.
Sweet tea. So, and I think the kids got sodas. So, and our waitress, man, she was on top of it. She was friendly. She was joking around with the kids. I think I would, as far as families and like even foster adoptive families, like she was on top of it, like talking with our kids. So, and she like knew them and stuff like that. So I think
and
that
all the staff, like during the pre-show and everything, were amazing.
Okay, talk about that.
Like you walk in and there's like, they just all talk to you and they're making sure like you got what you need, you know where everything's at, and just filling you in on everything, and it was just really good.
I would say that you would have to have kiddos with like severe sensory processing issues or like some other things going on where they're not safe to have around in public.
Like runners.
Like runners, or like I guess kids that you have to have like the sound deadening headphones on because they're not going to have fun because they can't hear anything. Or kids that like, you know, will freak out because of strobe lights or loud sound. Like
yeah, there was a lot of strobes and stuff. So,
but if you have
like
that,
we have one who borderline seizure activity stuff, but
to be honest, if you have the severe behaviors, you're probably not going out to do this stuff anyways. And I would not judge you, but be really being like, why aren't you just doing something else, or stay like, why is this a consideration? So I would say if your family can do this, and this is the stuff that your foster or adoptive or just your family in general can do, I would totally give this high praises and high marks. I think the sensory processing thing is the only hang up I would have for foster and adoptive families. So I'm trying to think of anything else. I showed you guys some of the stuff in the gift shop. The gift shop was really cool. The souvenir glasses and drinks were actually quite reasonable, I thought, for...
Yeah.
Like Margie was saying, like the soda and the souvenir glasses, she thought was like $4 or something like that. $4.50. That's insanely cheap and economical, guys. Come on.
Compared to other places.
Oh my goodness, other places you're gonna get a soda and pay $15 for a souvenir glass, and this thing looked awesome. So, Lumberjack Adventure, very cool.